The summer of 2006 was a pivotal moment for the Stargate franchise. As production continued on the record-setting 10th season of Stargate SG-1, fans around the world celebrated the landmark 200th episode. The new Ori storyline had rejuvenated the series. New cast members, Ben Browder, Claudia Black, and Beau Bridges made it look as though SG-1 might go on for years to come. But on August 21st, the news broke. The Sci-Fi Channel had cancelled Stargate SG-1. While the team would keep gating by means of 2 direct-to-DVD movies, it was the end of an era. But what you might not know is that Season 11 of SG-1 very nearly came to be. Stargate SG-1 aired for 5 years on Showtime in the United States, before Sci-Fi picked it up and produced another 5 great seasons. We saw the rise and fall of Anubis, the evolution of human form replicators, and the downfall of the Goa'uld system lords. The team even finally got a chance to go fishing. Things changed after Season 8. Leading man Richard Dean Anderson exited the popular series, and the show's Vancouver-based creators considered resetting the board in dramatic fashion. SG-1 would end, and the first season of a new show called Stargate Command would take its place. It would add some flexibility in storytelling and in behind-the-scenes contracts, but still make use of the standing sets and beloved characters. Eventually it was decided that it was better to stick with SG-1 as an established brand. A soft reset came with Season 9, with a new base commander and a new team leader. When Colonel Cameron Mitchell stepped inside Level 28, he made it his first task to reassemble SG-1. Season 9 also brought a new bad guy in the Ori, ascended beings from the Ancients' home galaxy who feed on the worship of lower beings. It was sort of the Goa'uld writ large. Instead of pretending to have godlike powers, the Ori actually did. And instead of merely liberating enslaved humans from Goa'uld oppression, SG-1 would have to actually convince true believers that their faith was misplaced. Executive producer Robert C. Cooper's plans for the Ori ran long past the 2 seasons that we eventually got. And while the DVD movie The Ark of Truth did manage to wrap up the storyline in a satisfying way, the evolution of the Ori story was intended to be less perfunctory. Producers were optimistic about an 11th season renewal, and shocked by the network's decision to cancel. Imagine how the story that would eventually be the Ark of Truth might have unfolded as a slow burn over 20 episodes. The team learns of a lost piece of ancient technology that could expose the lie of the Ori, and begin to search for it. Over several episodes, they learn that the Ancients, who used to be called Alterans, left it behind in their home galaxy millions of years ago. Meanwhile, the ascended Adria is wreaking havoc as her forces continue to subjugate the planets of the Milky Way. The other ascended Ori are gone, making her alone the superpowered beneficiary of their worship. Defeat after defeat follows, and eventually SG-1 concludes that they cannot turn back the invading armies. The galaxy's only hope is to go behind enemy lines, traveling through the Supergate to the Ori home galaxy on a desperate mission to find the one thing that can expose the lie and end the war. Perhaps they even spend several episodes scouring the alien galaxy, visiting different planets, and uncertain if they will ever make it home. Season 11 sounds pretty awesome. The Ark of Truth definitely had enough story to tell over 10 or 20 episodes. When the cancellation news came down, the powers that be sprang into action. Could SG-1 go somewhere else, just like it had after Showtime canceled it? Could MGM's deal makers convince a different broadcast outlet to pick up Season 11? In fact, they did just that. The new home for Stargate SG-1 was going to be Apple, which was just starting to explore the idea of original content for its iTunes video and music service. One of the executives at Apple was a huge fan of the show and loved the idea of saving it from cancellation. He said, "We discussed it and we would love to pick up SG-1 for an 11th and final season. It would be great. It would be an Apple original series." So why didn't it happen? Ultimately, it was Sci-Fi Channel that stood in the way. When they picked up the series from Showtime 5 years earlier, their contract included a non-compete clause. The show couldn't move to another broadcaster without Sci-Fi's approval, which they were unwilling to give. Apparently, the rule extended off the TV screen to digital platforms like iTunes, where in 2008, original scripted content was still in its infancy. Executive producer Joseph Malazzi later recounted the story of SG-1's near save. "We were so close," he said. "We were so close." Thanks everyone for watching. We're expanding Gateworld's video channel, so leave us a comment down below and tell us what kinds of videos you'd like to see. To make sure you see all the latest videos, hit the subscribe button and activate alerts. And you can always find the latest Stargate news and conversations on our website, gateworld.net.